not just get this over with? This isn't about anything but political power. And Republicans are jumping ship because they know they're losing on this. Well, why doesn't the Speaker just bring this to a vote with a bipartisan majority and end the shutdown?
You know, I think that's an easy thing to say, but a hard thing to do. Our conference is made up of a lot of different people and diverse personalities, and they have different views on things. I admire the Speaker for allowing everybody in our conference to get up and say what they have to say and then try to come together on something. And I think the one thing about this that was lost in the debate, it's not about either party. The unforgotten party here is the American people.
That's
and
right.
so we say, so what's best for the American people? As we go forward, what's best for the American people? And I think the founders were very clear from the beginning, you can have legislation. Some of the legislation is not good, so they've given us different to try and push back on things that we don't think are basically fair. And fair, to me, means, listen, nobody gets favor over somebody else. Everybody gets fair, and I think most of the people...
You're talking about the health care law.
I'm talking about almost everything we do in government, because government cannot pick and choose winners. What they should do is pick and choose the best thing for America.
There are lots of people losing in this shutdown, but I want to let's bring this to a slightly different topic. Sure. Speaker Boehner announced today to your Republican caucus in the House that we're 2 weeks away from hitting the debt limit, 2 weeks from today, and he announced that he is going to bring that to a vote with a bipartisan majority. He is not going to adhere to the Tea Party caucus and not, play to them and put strings on the debt limit. Do you agree with that approach? You think we should pass a clean debt limit?
The Speaker is the Speaker of the House, and he's representing really both parties. He's a Republican, I understand that. But Ms. Jackson-Lee and I are here tonight. We have a passion for protecting children and looking to the future. We were both at an event last week on pediatric cancer. I have never met a member yet that I thought was not a good American. So I think the Speaker, by saying, listen, we're going to go to the entire House, we're going to get input from both people, and we're going to do something that makes sense for America. So you agree with him
that the Tea Party is not going to hold America hostage on the debt limit, that he should bring a vote with a bipartisan majority?
Well,
you agree with him?
Well, here's what I agree with. I agree we have a process that allows everybody to be heard. Now, we'll see where it goes from there. Dealing in hypotheticals is always fun, but it's not often factual. I think we have to, we're forgetting something very important here. Now, my whole life, I'm an automobile dealer, and I know how to negotiate because that's why I've stayed alive. But I've never, ever gone into a room to compromise with somebody when the first thing out of their mouth is, just to let you know, I'm not compromising on anything. Now, this law...
On the Affordable Care Act.
This law, the President in the last 8 months has found, and the administration have found, different pieces of it that they say, well, you know what, it's okay, but this part's not okay. And I think when you sit back and take a look at this is such a huge piece of legislation. I have constituents calling me today talking about her and her daughter Riley, who can no longer afford the health care that they had and were paying themselves. Now, she started a business on her own. Her daughter's working in a supermarket. She bought her own health care. It was $70 a month. It's going to triple now. And all these things that we talk about, if you like the health care you're on, you can keep it. Not true. It's going to reduce your monthly premium. Not true. There's so many things about this where the open conversation of doing what's best for the American people. And I just say this, look, do I want to compromise? I absolutely want to compromise. I've not talked to one member who's relishing the thought that this country is shut down right now. And we are trying to do, on a piecemeal basis, as items come across, we will find ways to fund them. I just find it objectionable when people say, you know what? No. All or nothing. All or nothing. You guys lost. The law was passed. Judge Roberts was very, very articulate when he said, look, it's constitutional. We can't prevent the people from electing legislators that pass bad laws. But the founders gave us mechanisms that we can push back on. And when we see something that's not wrong, when we see something that's not going to achieve what it was supposed to achieve, then that's our job. We have to do that as legislators, and we have to meet and we have to talk civilly. Because when I first got in Congress...
that we want to do.
Absolutely. You know, when you look at the Constitution and you look about everything that's in the Constitution, it's not about protecting the government from the people. It's about protecting the people from the government. I would just say that a lively and civil debate... Well, you know what? That's one poll. And I'm all for polls. I know, but if I were to ask you, how do you feel about shutting down the government? You'd have a hard time finding people say, I think it's a great idea. So, but when it comes down to, so why are we looking and what are we trying to fix? And my whole purpose of this, if you don't get this economy fixed, if you don't get a vibrant and robust economy, all the rest of this is just talk. Because you know what supports this health care plan?
Yeah.
A vibrant economy.
Well,
what are we holding back?
You know
we
what
can't do it.
Well,
listen, Stephanie, I can tell you something.
$300 million a day.
When you tell somebody that no longer 40 hours is the way that's a full work, it's now beneath 30. I've talked to people when I come out of Mass on Sunday in Western Pennsylvania, when I come out of my Kmart and my Walmart, and I talk to people, and they say, would you please get this fixed for us? Now, I would agree with you. shutting down the government is something that most people don't like. But I would also say, if we're not moving in the right direction to fix everything for every American, then we're not going to get it done. This piece of legislation is so big and so comprehensive, we still don't even have all the regs
Let me ask you a question, though, back on the Republican strategy, because I still don't quite understand. So, as the Congresswoman said, there are numerous Republicans who have broken with their party, with their speaker, to say to Democrats, we will vote with you and pass a clean budget bill with no strings attached. This is about the budget. This is not about the Affordable Care Act. And we can't shut down the government any longer. The American people don't want it, and it's costing us. If the Speaker brought a clean bill to the floor and passed it with a bipartisan majority, you haven't said whether you would support it, but a bigger question is, would you support Speaker Boehner as Speaker? Would you stick with him as Speaker?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? Since I've been here, I've never seen anybody that has more respect for the House. Now, that wasn't true. I mean, you know, we can take this back one more session, and you can find out before the election, the wave election, when Miss Pelosi was in charge, there was no discussion, there was no debate, there was no, let's get the other side's point of view. And so I would just say we got to be careful. Well, you know what? Listen, wait a minute.
We're shutting down the
Yeah. But Speaker Boehner has been very good to let everybody come forward, the process, the committee work, and bring amendments. You know what? That's the design. This government wasn't designed to just go all one way or the other. This is not a monarchy.
No, it's not.